Welcome to Retrain Your Thinking with Pastor Johnny, where you'll learn to enlighten your mindset and change your world. Today, I have two wonderful guests with me, TJ and Kendra, and we're going to be talking about millennials making money. So let's start with you, TJ. Tell me a little bit about who you are and what do you do?
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Dollarhide. I am so happy that you invited me to the show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am TJ, known as TJ the Computer Lady, also Tina Jones. And what I do is I have a business where we work with computers, not just any computer or a new computer. We work with refurbishing computers and putting them back into use after normally they would be out of use and maybe ending up in a landfill. So we're doing something for the environment, but more than that, we're trying to provide computers for more vulnerable communities.
Wonderful.
At a very low price. One of our specials is the $100 computer, and we'll talk more about that as we get into the show.
Yes, that sounds great. That's wonderful. Kendra, what about you? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you for having me as well, Pastor Johnny. And yes, my name is Kendra. I am the owner and founder of the 180 Collection. And what I do is use the power of natural herbs to make products for healthy hair growth. A lot of women are suffering in silence with hair loss issues. So I try to help them to be more confident in their own hair by creating products that will help them to take care of their hair loss issues from the privacy of their own home.
Oh, that sounds great. And that's certainly something that's needed.
Yes, most
Well,
definitely.
let me go back to you, TJ. So, what exactly, say my computer is just old and really slow. Can you do anything for it?
In most cases, we can. And thank you for that question. In most cases, we can do something about that slow running computer or that computer that has an outdated operating system. What we really are trying to do is keep those computers running for as long as possible, which saves you money, quite frankly. You don't have to go to a big box store and pay thousands of dollars on a new computer, especially if you don't have the funds. There are means in which we can make that computer just like it was when you first bought it. And it might even be a situation where you do want to go buy that new computer, but you want to gift the old one to someone. And you don't want to give them junk, right? You want to give them something that they can use.
Yes.
So you can bring it to our shop, and we are happy to take that computer and do everything to make it new again.
Oh, that sounds great. And what about selling computers? Do you do that as well?
We do. We do offer computers that are refurbished in-house for sale, and they start at $100. We have a specialty called the $100 computer, and what that is a desktop computer. It has everything. It has the latest operating system. It comes with all the components, the monitor, keyboard, everything that you need to get started. And we specifically do that computer to provide computers for people who might not be able to afford, another computer. They're not $100 computers in the sense of that's what it's worth. They're worth far more, and we certainly can sell them for more. But for me, it's a ministry. It's about giving back, using the gifts that I have and skills that I have to bless someone else.
Oh, that is what. So I can actually get rid of that one I have, give
Yes.
it to you,
Yes.
you'll recycle it, and buy one for $100.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. You can
That is
buy another one
wonderful.
for $100. A lot of churches now are streaming their services, but they don't have the equipment there. And you might not have the budget to go out and buy all of the equipment that you need, but we can help you. Not only can we provide the equipment, we can also do the coaching to kind of get you ready for what you're about to experience as far as streaming, because you're going to need other equipment besides that computer in order to stream properly. So we provide all of those services.
Great.
And a little bit about my background, I'm actually a minister's spouse, so the church is very important to me.
Yes. Yes.
Being a first lady, you really, it's not really a title. It's a title, but it's not really a job. what does that mean? In my case, I do a lot more. I'm also the director of technology for my district. So we are the people, the technology department is actually the people who have gotten us online.
Yes.
Before the pandemic started, I was preaching in the wilderness about you need to learn Zoom. And I remember the congregations looking at me like, what are you talking about? We're fine.
Yes. Yes.
And then the pandemic hit. And now my phone is
Everybody
ringing off the
understands.
hook.
Yes, yes.
Excuse me,
Yes,
we need
yes,
a computer. Can you
yes.
show me how to
We
run
know
that Zoom
Zoom
thing?
not yet.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and yes. So it certainly helps facilitate ministry, and I'm really
Yes.
proud to be able to offer that service.
Yes. And Kendra, what about you? If I'm experiencing hair loss and I saw a beautiful commercial you have on your website, what can you do for us?
Well, the first thing I like to ask women is to look at their daily habits, because a lot of us fail to realize that healthy hair starts on the inside. So, especially now with everything that's going on in the world, a lot of us are not eating properly. We're not getting enough hydration. We're not exercising. We're stressed out. And those are like the primary reasons for hair loss.
Yes.
So, most of the time when I talk to women or consult with women, they've tried product after product after product after product. I'm like, stop spending your money on products.
Yes.
What are you eating every day? What type of supplements are you taking? So it's more so of a, let's look at what you're doing daily. Let's look at your daily habits and try to figure out maybe what the next step is before you purchase another product.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I saw the commercial of all of these products. When you don't use them, they go into the trash can.
Yes.
And I'm sure that many women can relate to
I
that.
call it the product graveyard.
All right. That's a good way to call it, because that's about what it becomes.
Right.
Well, that sounds great. Do you have or have you noticed a lot of women who have problems with hair loss due to the hairstyles that we have?
Oh, most definitely. Especially women that wear tight hairstyles.
Yes.
And the problem is not always the tight hairstyle. It's not properly maintaining the hairstyle, wearing it too long, going too long in between styles. Those things are so important, keeping your scalp and hair hydrated. So it's not necessarily the style that causes the hair loss, it's the maintenance or lack of
Yes.
maintenance in the
Yes.
style.
All
So I
right.
like to try to teach women the proper way to wear braids, to wear extensions, to wear weaves, because all of those things are fine. We just need to know the right way to do it.
Oh, that is so good. And that's great knowledge, because we want to look good, but we don't necessarily know, once the stylist puts all of these beautiful things in our heads and our
Right.
hair, how to take care of it.
Exactly.
So that sounds really good. Well, we'll be right back. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about exactly what TJ, the computer lady, and Kendra do in their business.
Good job. Keep talking, keep talking.
Girls, that was good. And something got in my throat.
I see your eyes started watering.
Yeah, I know. Welcome back to Retrain Your Thinking with Pastor Johnny. And I have two fabulous business owners, entrepreneurs that I'm talking to today. So, Kendra, tell me, how can we find your products? Where can we go to find them?
So on my website, it's 180hair.com, 180, the actual numbers, 180hair.com. And that's where you can purchase products. You can find my social media pages. You can find my free resources. I have an ebook, have tons of blog posts, and all types of educational things on the website as well.
Great. And TJ, what about you?
Well, you can always go to my website. That's $100pc.net. That's the number 100, the word dollar, PC, as in personalcomputer.net. And I'm also very Googleable. So if you type in TJ, the computer lady, you'll certainly reach me on all mediums.
Oh, that sounds great. Now, Kendra, What do you do? And you do hair care products.
Yes.
You don't necessarily sell the hair.
Not anymore. I
All
used to.
right,
I used
okay.
to.
Well, tell us about that. You used to sell hair.
Yes, so the
How you
180
evolved?
collection, I'm sorry, the 180 collection started as a hair salon. So from a very young age, I always wanted to be a hair salon owner. And I prayed, I was like, Lord, if that's the only thing I do in my life, I want to own a hair salon. And I did that. He allowed that. And if you remember, Pastor, you came to
Yes.
the salon before we opened
Yes,
and
of
we
course.
prayed and all of those
Yes,
things.
yes.
So it started as a hair salon. In order to kind of supplement my income, I started selling hair extensions, right? And so in that, I noticed that the women weren't just buying hair extensions for the look; they were hiding their hair loss. So I really wanted to start addressing that issue. I wanted to address the issue of women and their hair loss. So that's how the 180 collection got started.
Yes, all right. Yes, I definitely remember that. I also remember that you transitioned from 8 to 5 job, I would
Yes,
say,
yes.
into owning your own business. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I was in corporate America for about 15 years. I started working very young. And so one day I decided when the opportunity came for me to own the salon, I knew that I would have to give it 100%. So after much prayer and
Yes.
trying to educate myself on how to run a business, I did decide to leave my 9 to 5 job
All
and
right.
went into entrepreneurship full time. That was the most scariest thing I have ever done in my life. But it was definitely a learning lesson, and I'm so glad that I was given the opportunity to do that.
Sounds great. Now, TJ, what about you? How did you get started into this business, and tell us some of the highlights of your
Well,
business?
thank you for asking that question.
Yes.
And it just depends on how far you want to take it back, because this is something that I didn't expect. This is not what I planned for my life. Initially, I was working, for the man, as we call it in corporate America, but I was diagnosed with lupus. And at that time, it was a scary time. It's not like now where, you don't think you're going to die. But back then, the work that I was doing was too physically taxing for me. And I wanted to go back to school to learn something that I could either do from home or do in front of a computer where I'm not physically active. So I went and got the training, got the education, and thought that's what I was going to do. And then I got married. And then my husband said, "Oh, well, you don't have to work," which I thought was a setup. But I thought, oh, great, and I was actually still just finishing my education,
Yes.
still not having any real plans on how to use it. But I was at home, and I'm a go-getter person. I'm the kind of person that has to be having my hands busy doing something.
Yes.
And I was making a lot of chocolate cakes. And my husband said, "Honey, can we kind of stop with the chocolate cakes?"
Yeah.
So then I started to volunteer
Yes.
through my church. And through volunteering, I met a group of people who were not connected to the church so much, but this fellow who was a social worker at one time, and he was now doing business programs, helping people get their LLCs and getting their business started. And so I said, well, I'd like to come and observe and see where I can help out. And I was helping one of the clients. There was a family, and they said they didn't have a computer. And I told them, well, I could probably build you one for about $100. And the room got silent. And David, that was my friend, he said, "What? You can build a computer for $100? Oh, no, we have to tell people about this." And so this wasn't a business. This was just something I was sharing with someone. But he allowed me to go onto his radio show and start telling people, more people. And so I was building the computers at my home using recycled parts. And that's how I was able to keep the price down and just giving them, just selling them to people just for the $100. And of course, it became bigger than my dining room.
Oh my
Being married to a pastor, you know, they kind of want that dining room on Sunday with that
Yes.
Sunday meal on there. So I just got a really small office. Again, not really thinking big picture, just, you know, I needed somewhere else. And I just kept doing that. And it grew and it grew and it kept growing. And I just started offering more of what I knew how to do, building websites for folks, building computers, and also doing training classes, beginner classes for people, because I got a lot of people telling me, well, I'm computer illiterate. And I'm thinking, well, I can help. I have time. I know, you know, have all these training certificates and education that I'm not doing anything with. I'm glad to help you. So just out of a spirit of wanting to give back, having a skill that other people needed, and just positioning myself where I could help. And that's how it started. And that's how I am right here, right now
My
with
goodness, yes. And Kendra, I know that since I know you, I personally know that you transitioned from owning the beauty shop into the hair products, into making hair products. Was that a difficult thing to do? And what made you decide to, was it the ups and downs of business?
It was definitely the ups and downs of business. I did unfortunately have to close my salon after about 3 years because I thought I was just going to sit back and watch the money roll in. I didn't realize how much more of my time and money that, you know, running a business would take. So I was like, okay, I need to take this off, you know, just be online only. So that's when I started to study herbalism and started to study the power of natural herbs. And I took about 12 months and I learned as much as I could about herbs and their effectiveness in hair growth and hair health. And that's kind of how I started in my own kitchen, just mixing up essential oils and herbs and learning formulations and percentages. And I'm self-taught. I'm a self-taught formulator. So
My
that's
goodness.
how that
Oh,
got started.
this is all so wonderful. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'd like to know more about the herbal products that you use and more about your volunteer work, and especially helping those without computers. So we'll be right back to learn more. Great. That was good. Welcome back to Retrain Your Thinking with Pastor Johnny. And today I'm talking to two entrepreneurs, business women who are doing great in their own business. Now, TJ, let's start with you again. I want you to tell us a little bit. You mentioned that you do volunteer work and you're still doing that. You're helping people who don't have computers, and you're helping people who are computer illiterate. Tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you for that question. And I laugh when you say illiterate computer, because I don't think any of us are actually computer illiterate. I don't even think it's a thing, but people name themselves that. And I want to empower them to know that you can. And I don't care how old you are, you can still use a computer.
Okay, so that's a matter of retraining your thinking. All
That's
right.
right. And
Yes.
just believing that you can. I've had people who don't even know how to turn on a computer. And after, you know, just one or two lessons, they feel very confident to send emails, to be on social media, interacting with their family members and such. So I guess all that I do, like I said before, is really a ministry, and I do whatever I'm asked to do. Sometimes I plan my day that I'm going to do one thing and it turns into something completely different. So I don't like to put myself in the box. I just like to be available. I ask God, you know, to use me.
Yes.
And I've learned since I've started asking that, be careful what you ask for,
Yes.
because he will use you. He
Oh,
will
yes.
put you to work.
Yes,
And
yes,
so,
indeed.
and really that's what I do. I do what is asked of me. If you need a computer, or even if you just need advice. You might not want to buy one from me, but you don't want to go to the store feeling you're about to get taken advantage of. And that's sort of like how I feel when I go car shopping. It's like I'm
Yes.
bracing myself, I'm prepared because I'm going to get the bad end of the
Yes.
deal. You don't have to go into that situation because you have a friend. And I like to call my customers family members. Once I see you and meet you, you are my family. I'm going to treat you like I treat my Aunt Nona.
Yes,
And
yes.
you know, because you are somebody's family. You know, somebody does care about you.
That's
And I have a lot of customers that come in and they say, well, my nephew or my grandson told me, you know, this, that, and the third, you know, and they're hanging on because they trust that family member. I want them to be able to trust me in that same way, to be able to call me or text me, ask me questions, whatever it may be. And no matter how small or big the question is, it may seem stupid, but no question is stupid except for the one that you didn't
that you
ask.
didn't ask.
So
That is so
I
good.
really want to position
Yeah.
myself as that. You know, people call me a computer genius and all that. I'm just a regular woman that wants to help.
That
you know,
wants to- yes.
I don't think I'm any smarter than anyone else. I just happen to love technology, and I just happen to love giving what I have in me to other people
Yes.
who need the skills.
That's wonderful. And that's because of the spiritual connection
Yes.
that you have in your business. Now, Kendra, I know you have that spiritual connection because I happen to have been your pastor for 3 years.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your business connection and how you feel and how you run it as a spirit-led business and what that means to you.
Oh my, it's super important to me, for one, because I know that even from the start of my entrepreneurial journey, God was involved. And everything I've done up to this point has not been done without me seeking his counsel. So that is definitely the foundation of anything I do, business related or not. But I'm thankful that he has always placed me in the position of getting more knowledge and increasing the way I think, retraining my thinking, how I think
Yes.
about things, how I think about my business, how I spend my time and my focus. And so just with that, it's also important, like TJ was saying, is for me to be a resource to people,
Yes.
to help others, because a lot of, even with like in the computer industry, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of terms that people don't understand. It's the same in the hair care industry. There's a lot of terms and ingredients people don't understand. I have to, I talk to women a lot, and most of the time it's just a conversation. People just want to know that somebody cares. People want to know that there's somebody they can rely on to teach them something and give them information. So that's why I like to do Facebook Lives and go on and do Q&As. I like to show me making products
Yes.
so that people can see that there is some love behind what
The
I do,
products you make.
know,
Yes,
and
yes.
try to do small little teaching sessions on, if you don't want to buy a product from somebody, you can make your own. Let me show you. Use these 2 ingredients, So it's not just about me making money. It's definitely first and foremost about educating,
About
making
helping
sure
someone
that
else.
people
Yes.
understand what it is that they need to do to
Yeah.
fix or, whatever the problem that they think they're having with their hair.
Well, I had the opportunity on your Facebook page to watch you literally make one of your best-selling products. Now, how did you decide, or how do you decide the specific herbs to blend together?
Well, that particular product is, like you said, my number one selling hair growth treatment. It's called the Balm, BALM, because it is like a balm or hair grease or hair pomade, depending on where you're from. And so the way I decided the ingredients, it was a lot of trial and error. Like I said, I spent about 12 months just researching ingredients, learning how to formulate, learning percentages, learning what was the best option for certain types of hair loss. And so that's how it started. So I would make maybe a batch of like 5 or 6, and I would give them to my family. It's say, use this for 2 weeks, take a before picture, then take an after picture. Oh, well, no, this really didn't do nothing. Okay, well, let's try this batch. So my family was my guinea
Your
pigs.
guinea pigs, yes.
But finally, after maybe about 6 or 7 iterations of the product, I finally stumbled upon something that was showing results.
Yeah.
And to date, that product has sold over 4,000 jars.
My goodness.
So yes, I'm definitely thankful and grateful for that opportunity.
And so, what are some of the testimonies? What has it been doing? What do women say?
The main thing that women say is how they feel. I feel more confident. I feel happier with my hair now. I feel like now I can wear my hair in the styles I've always wanted. It's never about, oh, my hair is growing.
Right.
It's the emotional connection.
Yes.
And so that's the thing that really drives me also is the emotional connection. How are we making people feel? Now they feel empowered. Now they feel confident. Now they feel better about themselves. So that's the majority of the testimonials is
That
the emotion.
is so great because women, and especially African American women, well, we're particular about.
Oh, yes.
We're particular about those hairstyles.
Oh, yes.
And we love to wear different hairstyles, and sometimes we have to glue them in.
Yes,
but-
yes. I understand.
And so it's good to have someone like you around. What about you, TJ? I noticed that I saw this picture of you with Robert Ashley.
Yes.
And you were busy doing something then. What was that all about?
Well, Robert Ash, I used to be on the radio show with him and so he's just become a really great friend, and really he has kind of shown me the ropes about talking about myself, because I'm not a person that really likes to have the spotlight on myself. It's really more about the work, and Robert Ashley was able to help me with that as a broadcaster for many, many years here in the DFW area.
That's great. So, Kendra, if we wanted to find out more about how we can get your products, what do we do?
Head to my website, 180hair.com. So it's the number 180hair.com.
All right. And TJ, the computer lady, $100 computers?
Yes.
Yes.
So my website is $100pc.net. That's the number 100, the word dollar, PC as in personal computer.net.
All right. Well, we thank you for joining us today with Retrain Your Thinking with Pastor Johnny, and go to retrainyourthinking.com to find out more about us. And remember, don't just think about it, be about it. See you next time.